Good morning, students. This is K. Lakshmi, Assistant Professor in the Department of EEE, Chebrolu Engineering College, Lecturer 29, Unit 3, Magnetostatics and Ampere's Law. Topic: Magnetic field due to a circular coil and solenoid. Today, I would like to discuss about the magnetic field intensity at the axis of a circular coil. So in the last class, we discussed about the magnetic field intensity due to a current carrying conductor, a straight current carrying filament, also it is named as in exam point of view. Now, in this session, we have to discuss about the magnetic field intensity at the axis of a circular coil. Now, let us discuss about the figure. So this is the figure, represents the circular coil, a circular coil having radius capital R, and a current I is passed through it. P is a point which is at a distance x from the center of the circular coil and at a distance R from the top and bottom having the smallest length, that is dl. So here a circular coil considered of radius R in which current I is flowing through it as shown in the figure. Let P be a point in the axis of the coil. So the meaning of axis of the coil means exactly it is an imaginary line which is passed through the center of the coil. Now, the total magnetic field due to the coil is to be determined. For this purpose, let us take a small portions or small positions of the coil having a length dl, and they are taken at the top and bottom of the coil, and they are also opposite to each other. So this is the figure clearly represents the arrangement of the circular coil. Here P is the point. We have to find the magnetic field intensity at this point P. Okay. Now, to determine the magnetic field intensity at the point P, that is due to position of dl at the top, will give a magnetic lines of force in the direction of PQ at a P, and its value is given by, that means here we have to take the top position dl. Due to that, the direction of, so this is the top dl, so the direction of the magnetic field is along PQ. So here, due to this top dl current carrying element, the magnetic field at the point P is in the direction of PQ. Similarly, due to bottom the smallest length dl, due to this impact on P, the magnetic field direction is along PS. So it is clearly here the magnetic field intensity having two directions. One is PQ for corresponding length at the top of the coil. Similarly, another direction is PS that is due to the smallest length at the bottom of the circular coil. That means at the point P, there is an impact of both magnetic field directions, that is PQ and PS. Okay. Before we discussing at the magnetic field intensity at the point P, once again, we have to remember the Biot-Savart's law. That is very important here. The determination of magnetic field intensity at the point P due to this circular coil is measured with the help of Biot-Savart's law. So here, this is the expression for the Biot-Savart's law. Already we discussed in the last classes. So the expression for the, according to expression for the magnetic field is dB is equal to K ideal sine theta by R square. Here, theta is the angle between DL and R. Now, from this figure, this angle is taken as 90 degrees. So that's why sine theta, that means by substituting theta value as a 90 degrees, so this sine theta value is equivalent to sine 90 degrees, which is equal to 1. So finally, the magnetic field intensity, that means that the smallest magnetic field intensity dB value is equal to K I dl by R square. So, similar manner, already we discussed that. Here it is the top of the circular coil and it is the bottom of the circular coil. In the last slide, we discussed about the, by the influence of top of DL, the position of or the value of magnetic field intensity is along P and S here. So now the bottom of the magnetic field is also given the same expression. So that is also equal to dB is equal to Ki dl by R square. So here it has two directions. The magnetic field having two directions. One is along PQ and another one is along PS due to this top and bottom length. Now, what is the resultant magnetic field intensity at the point P is, that is along T direction. So, the resultant value is dBr, represented by dBr. So, we have to find the value of dBr here. Okay. Before calculating the resultant value that is along the direction of PT, first we have to determine the value of dBr. For this, let us take some simplifications values here. Let the angle between R and OP. So this is the R and it is the OP. That angle is alpha clearly from the figure. So once again, so this is the figure. Okay. So this is O and P and it is the R. So the angle between them is equivalent to alpha. So as in a geometrical calculation, whenever this value is equal to alpha, automatically the angle between NP and PQ is also equivalent to alpha. Similarly, as this angle, that is OP and R, that is at the bottom. So whenever this angle is alpha, automatically the angle between PS and Pn dash rays is also equivalent to alpha. That means angle NPQ and angle N dash PS are equivalent to alpha. That is clear. Okay. Now, again, the angles of QPT and TPS. Let us discuss that. It is clear. It is a 90. When you observe that, my cursor, it is the 90 degrees angle. Whenever this small portion is alpha, then automatically this portion is equivalent to 90 minus alpha. NPT. NPT is equivalent to 90 degrees. Clearly, NPQ value is alpha. Then automatically QPT value is equivalent to 90 minus alpha. In the similar manner, clearly N dash P T is equivalent to 90. Clearly N dash PS is equivalent to alpha. Therefore, the value of S P T becomes to 90 minus alpha. Once again, I repeat, N P T angle is 90. N P Q angle is alpha. Now the portion of Q P T value becomes to 90 minus alpha. In the similar manner, the value of S P T also becomes to 90 minus alpha. So we have to find the value of dBr. So for this dBr, the total value of this portion becomes to, that means the angle of QPS is actually N dash is a straight line. So the total angle is equal to 180. N dash is a straight line. So here the total angle is equivalent to 180 at the point P. Now this small portion is alpha. This small portion is alpha. Now total 180 minus these two alpha gives the value of this portion, that is P Q T S angle. That means so this is the angle. This angle is alpha. This angle is alpha. But this total angle is 180. So automatically this angle is equivalent to 180 minus 2 alpha. Okay. Right. Now, this is clearly. So angle QPS becomes to 180 minus 2 alpha. Now we have to calculate the value of dBr, that is the resultant direction, resultant of dBr, as according to vector, this dBr whole square is equivalent to dB square plus 2 dB into dB cos of QPS. That means this is the dBr square resultant. So this resultant is equal to dB square plus 2 dB into dB cos of this angle, that is this is cos of angle which is equal to 180 minus 2 alpha. So we have to find the resultant direction. So for this purpose, the expression for the dBr square is equal to dB square plus 2 dB into dB cos of angle QPS. So here there is another dB square there. Small mistake. So here dB square okay. So total dBr square is equal to dB square plus dB square total angle, that is 2 dB into dB cos of QPS. So this is dB square plus dB square, which is equivalent to 2 dB square, again plus 2 into dB square into dB, which is equal to dB square cos of QPS. This is the QPS angle, which is equivalent to 180 minus 2 alpha. Okay. According to cos of 180 minus 2 theta, its value according to trigonometry, minus cos 2 alpha, minus cos 2 alpha. Minus cos 2 alpha. Okay. So here the first term consists of 2 dB whole square, and here also a 2 dB whole square. By combining these two values, 1 minus cos 2 alpha. So 1 minus cos 2 alpha value is equal to 2 sine square alpha. So 2 into 2, 4 dB whole square sine square alpha. But here we find the value of dBr square. But we wanted a value of dBr only. By simply square root on both sides. So dBr is equal to 4 dB whole square sine square alpha whole power 1 by 2. So 4 power 1 by 2 is 2 dB whole square sine square alpha becomes 2 dB sine alpha. So this is the expression for dBr is equal to 2 dB sine alpha. Now we have to measure the total magnetic field that will be equal to the sum of all the dBr values due to all the pair of DLs, that means the total circular coil, that means throughout the circle. So throughout the circle, the length is taken as 0 to pi r. 0 to pi r. So the limits of the circle is taken as 0 to pi r. So it is clearly the B expression is obtained as dBr is equal to 2 dB sin alpha. So on both integrations on both sides, so integral 0 to pi r dBr is the final or total magnetic field intensity at the point P due to circular coil. So P is equal to, so dBr value is 2 sin alpha dB. Here 2 sin alpha constant, the variable is only dB. Here the variable dB is having limits 0 to pi r. So what is the dB value? Again, we have to take the dB expression from Biot-Savart's law. Already we have to calculate in the first slide. This dB value is equal to Ki dl by r square. Why? Because the angle between theta, that is the angle theta, which is between dl and r, is taken as a 90 degrees. So this is the dB expression Ki dl by r square. Now this expression we have to substitute here, Ki dl by r square. Okay, again K is constant, that is mu naught by 4 pi. I is constant, that is current passed through the coil. R is constant, that is the distance from the center of the coil to the point. Now just write the constants, all the constants are right before the integration. Then it is equal to 2 sin alpha Ki by r square, and the integration 0 to pi r dl. Now B is equal to 2 sin alpha. So sin alpha from the figure, this is the alpha. Okay. Sin alpha is equal to formula opposite side by hypotenuse, that is capital R by small r. So replace it. So here B expression is 2 sin alpha Ki. So in the next, there is no sin alpha. Sin alpha value is replaced by capital R by small r. So it is clear that it's here, it is an alpha. So sin alpha is equal to, this is the radius, capital R by small r. Opposite side by hypotenuse. And K value is clearly, we have to know, we know that that value is equivalent to mu naught by 4 pi I by R. So integral dB means B. So by applying limits 0 to pi r, it is equal to pi r. So simply here pi value is cancelled, and r square becomes to r cube. So the magnetic field intensity due to circular coil at the point P is B is equal to mu naught I R square by 2 R cube. So still we have to change this formula along variables capital R and X. So from the figure, it is clear that this is a small r, this is a small x, and it is capital R. Okay. So we have to know it is a triangle, right angle triangle. So hypotenuse square is equal to side square plus side square. So r square is equal to, that is a small r square is equal to capital R square plus x square. So then what about r cube? Simply whole power 3 by. Now substitute this value here. Mu naught I R square 2 R cube. In place of R cube, this is the formula. R square plus X square whole power 3 by. So this is the final expression for the magnetic field intensity at the point P due to this circular coil. Still, there is a special case. If the point P is, that means if the point P is some x distance from the center of the coil, if we assume this point P is exactly at the center of the coil, that means x value is taken as 0. So as we substitute x value as a 0, that means as the point P is exactly at the center of the circular coil, then x value becomes to 0. So automatically, as x value substitute here 0, that means in cases that is capital R value is taken as a small r. So mu naught IR square by 2 into R square whole power 3 by 2. So simply here 2 and 2 are cancelled. So finally it is 2 R cube. Then the expression for the B is equal to mu naught IR square by 2 R cube. Therefore, by cancellation of radius here, B value is equal to mu naught I by 2R, where R is the radius of the coil. So this is the expression for the value of magnetic field intensity at the center of the circular coil. At the center of the circular coil. That means here we discuss about the magnetic field intensity point P at a distance x from the center of the coil, and also exactly at the center of the coil. So this is the expression for that. Now we discuss a second next application, that is magnetic field inside a solenoid. So first of all, we observe the figure. What is a solenoid? So this is the shape of the solenoid. Solenoid means simply wounded shape of number of coils. Here, this is a coil. Number of coils are wounded like a spring. So this is the solenoid. So this is solenoid carrying a current I. That means a current I is passed through this solenoid. Then a magnetic field is developed inside this solenoid. So this is a point P which is inside the solenoid. So we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity at this point P. So let us discuss once again. Let the figure represents the linear cross section of a solenoid whose coiling is such that it has n number of coils per unit length. Let P be a point where the magnetic field due to the whole solenoid is to be determined. For this, let a small length dx of the solenoid is to be considered first, and then we have to calculate the magnetic field intensity at the point P due to whole length. So this is the expression we have to take magnetic field intensity for a one circular coil. Just here we discuss in this class the expression for it. B is equal to 2 pi Ki r square by r square plus x square whole power 3 by 2. But here there is an additional term we have to use. Why? Because there are number of circular coils are there. So how many number of circular coils are there? N number of circular coils are there. And dx is the length of the each coil. That means the smallest length. So that's why here the magnetic field intensity due to one circular coil is multiplied with n dx. The meaning of n dx means n is the number of circular coils and dx is the length. So this is the expression. Now this is the figure. Clearly observe that this is the smallest length dl, and this is the point we have to find the magnetic field intensity. And it is clear that this point is also along the axis of the circular coil. So what is the meaning of axis of the circular coil? Exactly, it is an imaginary line which is passed through the center of the circular coil. Okay. Now this dl element is the circular coil having radius r. This ds element makes an angle phi with the point P at B, C and A positions. And whatever the distance between the point P and to the length, that is dx length, is also taken as a same value, which is equal to small r. For the calculation purpose, here we have to draw a perpendicular, that is BD. Now pi is the angle between C, P, let it be O, and d phi is the angle between A, B, P. Now this is the expression magnetic field due to the whole solenoid, and these are the angles we have to already discuss in the figure. So for the calculation purpose, sin phi, that is from the triangle BAD, BAD, So this is the triangle. So here it is sine pi. So sine pi is equal to opposite side BD by hypotenuse AB. So BD by hypotenuse AB is value equal to dx. So BD by AB by cross multiplying AB sine pi is equal to BD. Here AB is the length, that is dx. And next triangle BDP. 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 Now BDP, the angle is d phi. Sin d phi is equal to opposite side, that is BD by hypotenuse. So BD is equal to sin d phi into opposite side. So this is the hypotenuse. This value is equal to R. So BD value becomes to R sin d phi. R sin d phi. So finally, here the BD value from equation 1 is equal to sin phi dx. The BD value for this obtained is BP sin d pi. Here BP value is also equal to R. Then this value is equal to R sin d phi. As d phi value is very small, then this R sin d phi value we have to take it as a R d phi. Already in the last class we discussed that as d phi value is very small, then sin d phi value is equal to d phi. So simply from equation 1 and 2, the expressions of BD are equivalent. Now by comparing sin phi dx is equal to R d phi. Then dx value is equal to R d phi by sin phi. Now substitute the dx value in a n dx formula. N. So this is the dx value. So clearly R square plus x square we have to take in as a small r square. So that r square whole power 3 by 2 becomes to r cube. Here, this is the final. Now, convert the r value. Here, r and r cube are cancelled. So, in the denominator, there is a small r square value. So, capital R square by small r square means which is equal to sin square pi. So simply here sin square pi are cancelled. So finally, this is equal to 2 pi k ni sin pi d pi. By integrating with respect to phi 1 and phi 2 values, this is integral sin pi value equivalent to minus cos pi. By substituting the integrations here, cos pi 1 minus cos pi 2. Let us take the pi 1 and pi 2 values 0 to 180. So cos 0 value equal to 1 and cos 180 value is equal to minus 1. So 1 minus of minus 1, that is 2. So B value is equal to 4 pi k ni, or we can change this formula as by substituting k value as a mu naught by 4 pi. B value is equal to mu naught Ni.